Hey, what's going on? My name's Coach Lee Hopkins. My pronouns are he, him, his, and you're listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to helping you replace harmful patterns with new possibilities. In each episode, we'll explore topics that inspire you to be yourself, live your truth, and make lasting connections. In this episode, we're going to talk about making better connections, asking better questions to connect on a new level. If you find yourself stuck in boring conversations but don't know why or don't know how to shift the conversation to something more interesting to you, I have 3 questions that are going to help you connect on a new level. Are you ready? Let's go. I used to have a lot of friends that I would talk to that would say a whole lot about themselves, but they really didn't say anything. And I wonder if you know what I mean, because maybe you've experienced this. Maybe you've been a person who's done this, not really said anything about who you are and how you show up and how you really feel. That's what I mean when they don't say anything. They don't say anything of substance that strikes a feeling in me that makes me understand how they're feeling, how they're experiencing the world. They don't really say it outright directly. They might talk about the things that they have or the places that they go to or the people that they went with, but they don't say anything about who they are. They kind of leave it up to you to figure it out. Figure out what this person is about. Figure out how they feel about these events and experiences, but they don't say anything. And when people do that, I get the idea that they really want me to be impressed with them. They want to impress upon something that I need to change how I feel, or I need to look at them in a certain way, because usually when people do this, they talk about extravagant and interesting and important things to other people, but they don't talk to you. It feels to me like when I'm in those positions that I'm being talked at. It's like essentially they're reading you the resume or a list or itinerary list of events that are going to happen or have happened. I did this and I saw that and I was hanging out with that person and blah, blah, blah. And to me, they just weren't really saying anything because they didn't share how they felt about those experiences that they were having. To me, vulnerability is sharing how you feel. In any way, shape, or form. In order to connect authentically with another person, you really have to be open and honest and share how you feel about experiences rather than report about the experiences that you've had. And that's because I believe the connection happens only when we share how we feel about our experiences, our own experiences, and the person that we're talking to demonstrates that they understand how we feel about our shared experiences. So I say, hey, this is my favorite example. Oh, I went to see this movie and it was really amazing and yada, yada, yada. This is how I felt about it. I loved it. And the person that we share this with, they say something like, oh, that's really great. I hear you like this movie. It was really great because of this, and that. I can see why you enjoyed this movie. You're really into that kind of stuff. Bit of an understanding and validation of our feelings. The connection breaks down when the person who you're sharing your joy and excitement with says, ugh, such a stupid movie. I didn't like it at all. Or I heard such terrible things about it. I can't believe you went and wasted your money on that kind of stuff. Your connection will break down with that. It's instant and you know it. You notice it. You notice that you don't feel so great about sharing with them anymore. They don't seem like a safe person. But if they never give you an opportunity to express how they feel about what you shared with them, then you miss out on having a connection. It feels like you're alone in the first place. You were hiding how you feel. And essentially, that's what I believe people do when they only talk about their experiences and not so much how they felt about the experience. They give you an itinerary and they don't give you an opportunity of vulnerability where they open up to you and they say, yeah, this is how I felt about it. Or, yeah, I was really excited to hang out with this person at this event. Or, no, this event sucked because of this, this, and that. Or, I just really felt sad about that person leaving the show, whatever show you're watching. I felt sad because they left the show and they were the main character. I really enjoyed them being the main character. So I felt really sad. They never gave you an opportunity to see those feelings. They never get an opportunity to see who they really are and how they really feel about things. And that's a lonely feeling. That's a lonely feeling. In my experience, because I've been the person who has done this too, just reported on things that I have done. I've been the person to do that. My experience is that I've just felt unsafe about sharing. I didn't have the wherewithal to know what was good to share and how to share it. I didn't know how to share my feelings about the experiences. And it's because unconsciously I've been programmed, or I've had my own experiences where I've just been told that my feelings weren't valid and it's not safe to open up. Because as soon as I talk about things that are important to me, as soon as I start expressing joy, you shouldn't be doing that. That's not good. Don't be mad about stuff either. What are you crying for? Don't show your real feelings about stuff. And so we get into this mindset where we are stuck talking about the events, but not necessarily how we feel about those events, right? And so what I want to offer you today is a way to open up the conversation, to talk more about the feelings behind the events. And these 3 questions, actually the format of the questions, are really going to help you figure out how to open up to other people, as well as how to get other people to open up a little more to you. So what I'm going to do is share these 3 questions with you, and then I'm going to tell you a little more about them. So the first question is, what led you to choose your current profession? This question is going to provide insight into the career and motivations, aspirations, and it's going to open up discussions about their professional journey, because we're all doing something to make money out there. And you can adjust this question a little bit from what led you to choose your current profession to what led you to do what you do to make money, or what is the passion behind doing what you do to make money, something along those lines. But the idea is that the question has a format that's going to get them to think about the what rather than so much the why. And the importance behind the what is that there is a benefit to it. There's a mode of thinking. There's a feeling that goes along with doing whatever their current profession is, or whatever it is that they do to make money. And you want to prompt them to share that with you, right? You want to prompt them to share that with you. And when you prompt them to share it with you, make sure that you are kind with it. Make sure you validate that. Make sure you say, all right, I understand, I can see. Be genuinely curious about what they share with you and be gentle with it, because remember, it is vulnerability. All right. Number 2, what got you interested in a specific topic that they'd mentioned? So imagine that you're having a conversation with someone. Maybe you've known them for a while and they start talking about how they went to a concert. Well, what got you interested in going to this kind of concert? It's important to ask these kind of questions about their interests, because it shows that you're attentive and you're eager to learn more about what is interesting to them. And it'll probably lead up to more engaging conversations. You take the conversation in a new direction. You're not just talking about the fact that they went to an event. You're talking about the meaning behind it for them. You're talking about the what behind it. You're talking about the interest that it has for them, the meaning and importance of it. You want to get them to show how they feel about that experience with you, so that, again, you can be kind and gentle with it. You can validate it, and you can show them that some real support, understanding, and connection, right? Number 3, what led you to get good at a specific skill or activity that they've mentioned? Now, this question allows them to share their accomplishments and their passion and showcase their expertise, and it gives you an opportunity to learn more about their talents. because we like to talk about ourselves. We really do, and how we feel about what we got good at. There's a reason why we got good at it. There's a story, there's history, there's understanding behind that. And so when you ask this kind of question, you'll be able to see more of them and how they feel about what they are good at. And hopefully it's something that they really enjoy. It's something that they're not disliking, that they're good at. It could be a possibility too. But hopefully you talk about something that they're good at, they're proud of, they're interested in, they're happy to share their joy with you, rather than saying, I did 200 push-ups today. Like, let's understand a little more about the accomplishment and celebrate that so that you can connect. Help them get out of their shell a little more, to talk to you, to show you how they feel about their experiences and being alive, being a human out there. Because again, I'm going to refer back to our connection piece. Connection happens when you show how you feel about something, and the person who is listening to you demonstrates that they understand and they support what you share with them. That's real connection with others. So let's get into the format of these questions, because the format is really important. Now, all these questions begin with what? They don't begin with why. You might be tempted, or you may have been told to ask why questions. Why did you choose your current profession? Why did you get interested in a specific topic that they mentioned? Why did you get good at a specific skill? Or why are you good at a specific skill? These questions, they feel a bit accusatory and a bit probing, a little more probing than the what questions. Because when you ask the why, sometimes people just don't know. It feels a bit like they're being attacked as well. This is from my own experience, being the person who is asked those kind of questions, as well as the person who's been asked those kind of questions. Why did you do this? Why did you do that? It sounds sharp and it sounds accusatory. And as soon as you open your mouth to share your feelings, it's going to get shot down. Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Granted, I put my own tone on it just now, but still you can say it in a nice, curious way. Why did you choose your current profession? It can feel like they're being criticized, and we just want to avoid that in order to have them open up to us, in order to have them share with us, in order to have them connect with us. So ask your questions in a what format. Now, another piece of this is helping them open up to you, because, of course, you can ask all the what questions in the world, but if people don't feel comfortable with you, they're just not going to open up to you. And what I discovered from my own personal journey, again, just referring to my own personal journey and what works for me and connecting with others, is that I will volunteer this information first. So these 3 questions that I've asked, make sure that you've already know them for yourself. Make sure you've already taken a thought about what it is that has led you to do your current profession or make your money the way you do. What was it? For me, the what was that I felt really lonely and disconnected, and I want people to not feel as lonely and disconnected as I was. I want people to have all these skills, and I want people to talk about things that are important to them without hiding who they are, and knowing how to do that without going through the painful process of discovering how to do it as well as implementing it. So that's what led me to choose my current profession. Was I want to help people. I want them to feel more connected. And so I say all this to say, what is it about you that you have chosen to do what you do to make money? Know that answer for yourself. Just like any of the other questions, make sure you know what it is that you want to share, to answer those questions, and then share that first. That gives them permission to show that it's a safe place, because you were demonstrating, 1, how to do it, and 2, that you're comfortable if they are not going to say anything kind to you. You're the one putting yourself out there first. So take this information, go forth and ask your questions, and also share a bit about who you are to connect authentically. I'll be right back with the answer Reddit question. Are you tired of being around people who just don't get you? Have you been putting yourself out there but not able to find anybody that matches your vibe? You're not alone. Making friends, especially as an adult, is hard. My name's Coach Lee. I'm a social connections coach, and I want to help you find your tribe. I have a 3-step coaching program for groups and individuals that's designed to help you get to the right place, to meet the right people, to have the right kind of conversations that leave you feeling fulfilled, appreciated, and understood. After going through the Find Your Tribe coaching program, you'll discover who it is that you really want to be connected to, how to find those people, and what you need to talk about so that your relationship moves from an acquaintanceship to a close friendship. And with this program, you won't be on this journey alone. You'll have access to a private community in which there are others who are just as intentional about making the kind of connections you are. You'll also have access to live events like weekly Q&As, speed friending, and much more. You'll be able to practice your skills in a safe environment and feel confident to connect authentically when you get out into the real world. If you're ready to get started on making meaningful connections and lasting relationships, then book a friendly conversation with me so we can discuss what your needs are. The link is in the show notes. I look forward to hearing from you. All right, now it's time for the Reddit friendship advice question. If you have a friendship advice question that you think I should answer, tag me in it on Reddit. My handle is Brilliant and Resilient. That's Brilliant, the letter N, Resilient. How to make female friends. I'm a 24-year-old female. I've not had any close female friends in my life. How much I ever try, I just cannot befriend women. I've had a friend group in high school, but that fizzled out long back. I've always been sweet to every woman I've ever met, but I somehow am always excluded from everywhere. When I was in college, my engineering degree had 35 girls and 45 guys. Every single one of them were a part of some group except me. I can befriend guys easily, but most of the time, 99.9999%, it turns out to be more than that. I befriended guys with the sole intention of being friends, but that has just never worked out for me because the guy catches feelings. I do not flirt, I just talk normally. Let me just get some of your assumptions about me out of the way. 1, I'm not really an introvert, probably for the first meet, but after that I get fairly comfortable with people and I am my true self. 2, I am not a pick-me. I've never sought validation from guys in front of girls. I get why girls would avoid such girls, but I'm not that. 3, after my degree, I thought I'd make friends in an office, but this didn't work either. My company is fairly remote and has a lot more men than women because I work in IT. My team also has seniors that are 30-ish years old, and I don't think it'd be an option. I just feel extremely sad looking at all the girls in my Insta stories. Most of them have groups of 5 to 6, and I have no one. Has this ever happened to you? What should I do to make female friends? Or just any friends for that matter? Well, I'm glad that you asked, Redditor, how can you make more friends? Just friends in general? I think it is by showing a little more, revealing a little more about who you are, because that's what this podcast episode is about, is revealing a little more about who you are, showing up authentically so that you can connect. And I know that you've said you are authentic, you're not looking for validation, you're not a pick-me, you're yourself, you're not an introvert, but what I mean here is asking more questions to open up the conversation and connecting with people. So I have a whole coaching program about this that helps you get into the right place to have the right kind of conversations. But we're going to assume that you know where the right places are and you're not having the right kind of conversations. How about that? We'll assume that. And this is where these what questions come in, is forming the kind of questions to get them to open up as well as opening up to them. Because just talking about random things and just workplace activities without attaching your own feeling to it isn't going to make a real connection, because you really want to understand more about people, their lifestyles, their values, and see if they match with you. I mean, connecting with people meeting friends and close connections is just a big match game. It really is. You go out there with an understanding of what you have in your hand, to match up with. So you know what you have in your hand, you know what you're looking for, and you go and you ask them, you get to prompt them to show you what they have in their hand. You get to prompt them with good questions, with also revealing yourself, also talking about things that are important to you and seeing how they respond, because they're going to show their hand in that case as well. So what I would suggest for you to find new friends or to connect with people is first get into the right place to have the conversations that you want. And if you're not in the right place, being at work where there's at least a 6-year age difference because you're 24 and people are in their 30s, then, quick story, I can relate to that. I used to work in an office in which there was a huge value difference between me and the people. Like, there was an age gap, people who just graduated from college, and I'm starting new there. I am in my early 30s, and most people are in their early 20s. And so they connected and they clicked in that way because they're up to early 20s things. They're going out to bars and doing whatever early 20s people do. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to go to clubs. I kind of want to just be chill and go to a bar or something different. I had a different lifestyle. And then the people who were my age, in their 30s, they had a different life. They lived in the suburbs with family and kids and things like that, whatever they do at that age in those offices. And I was like, I'm single. I live in the city and I don't have any kids or a partner. So we had different values, right? So it was hard to even have connection because I was not in the right place. I think I was not in the right place because our values didn't line up, and I could see that pretty easily. But when you get in the conversation with people, you're going to see what more values line up with them. So like these 3 questions that I mentioned earlier with what led you to choose your current profession is going to give you insight into what they value and what's important to them about having the job that they have. So you can start there. Having those kind of conversations. But again, I found the most success with sharing first, figuring out what was important to me about having this position. What led you to choose becoming an engineer? You could have been anything else. What was it about it? Do you enjoy the mathematics? Do you enjoy the problem solving that comes with it? What about your company is fun and interesting to you? What about this position? What about the city that you live in that's interesting and fun to you? Talk about what got you interested in, whatever is important and interesting to you. What got you into that? So maybe you like gymnastics. What's important about that to you? Share that with another person and prompt them to share with you so you can find something that will connect you, because it is in these little conversations, these little moments, that you make an authentic connection. You find out who is for you and who isn't for you. So what I'd recommend for you to do is ask some more questions and also share, be vulnerable. Make sure to ask the what questions, okay? The what questions. Redditor, thank you so much for asking your question. I know that you didn't ask me to answer it, but I did, and I hope that it helps. Best of luck to you. Take care. My name is Coach Lee Hopkins, and you have been listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. You can find me at patternsofpossibility.com and on all social media at Patterns of Possibility. And as always, I want to encourage you to be yourself, live your truth, and there you'll make lasting friendships.